Morning, everybody, and welcome to Hometown Cable. Our program, as it is every Sunday, is called What's Going On Here. My name is Bob Venn, Calvin Castine with the camera. And what do you think of at the end of June? What are you going to do that first week in July? Most people in the area come to Rouses Point for the 4th of July celebration. And that's a misnomer because it isn't necessarily on the 4th of July, but it's around those dates. We're fortunate this morning to have been invited, and we'll be talking with co-chairman. Is that the right word?
Chairman and co-chairman.
Chairman and co-chairman. Well, co-chairman means you're equal.
Yeah.
Well, we are.
Just like a husband and wife.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And your names are, tell us?
Michael Bryan.
Brian Jefferson.
Yeah, we are. Those are the two people. And I think this is your first attempt at this?
Yes, it is.
Have you learned anything your first year?
It was very hard.
Have you learned to appreciate those who come before you and how much work it is?
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And how big of a committee do you have, gentlemen?
5 of us, I think. 5 or 6 of us. There's Brian's co-chairman.
Okay.
We have Ken Ryan, Tom and Pam Marlowe, Lisa Mascal, and Debbie Cole.
Okay. So you meet as a group, and then do you break down that?
No, we've kind of done everything together.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit, just a thumbnail. Mike O'Brien, you're native of Rouses Point,
Yeah.
Graduated from our schools, and now you are
The Civic Center manager.
Civic Center manager. We talked to Mike when they were putting in that floor, and that was another experience, wasn't it?
Yes,
Huh?
yes, it was.
Things going well, though.
Yeah. We've got inline hockey now. We've got lacrosse a couple nights a week.
Trade show.
Trade show we had.
Yes,
a
you
very
had, yes.
successful trade show that
Uh-huh.
was here. Shazy Hardware put on one.
Uh-huh.
And we got more renovations going on since then. They're finishing the outside of the roof. They're going to start insulating in-house labor after August 1st. So
They are? I saw it on
I
Hometown.
can't rent anything after August 1st as far as, so then we've got 6 weeks to do what we can before we start making ice September 15th.
Okay. And your co-chairman, Jefferson's, or Jeffrey-O, used to be,
Yeah.
the phrase, from the Rouses Point also, Brian, born here?
Yep.
Your mom and dad?
My dad runs Jefferson's Market, and my mother was Canadian.
What's his name and your mother's name?
Charles Jefferson.
Okay.
Yeah, and my mother, Shirley, passed away.
Uh-huh.
But I'm a local from Rouses Point.
Right. What have you been doing since you got out of school?
I'm in the United States Border Patrol, have been for the last 15 years. I'm on the hockey board, Stock Investment Club, and now the 4th of July committee this year.
Okay.
So, a lot of work.
Did your wife tell you to get on this committee so it can get you out of the house, or just something you thought was going to be fun?
I got on the committee to finish the rink off. The rec center was 75 or 80% completed, and I figured that if we had just a little bit more of a push, we could finish it off and get things rolling here. And things are going quite well here. Mike's
Good.
doing a nice job. And,
Good.
Yep.
Mike, we mentioned it before, but your mom and dad were
Yeah, my dad was superintendent of the village for 39 years.
first name?
Alfred.
Alfred Albra O'Brien, yeah, and your
And my
mom?
mother's name was Jackie.
Okay. Now, just give us a little bit about the Rouses. How long is well, there it is right there, 37th annual. The longest one around, St. Mary's 31. This is 37th annual, and it's hard to compare any parade or any function in the area to the July 4th celebration at Rouses Point. You draw tremendous crowds.
Yeah. I guess they estimate usually 10 to 15,000 people.
A lot of people come in. And because it's on Main Street here, and because it's several days, a lot of the merchants prosper or get some benefit from this.
I hope so.
Very much they have in the past, I
Yeah.
know, right?
I'm sure they do.
Okay. Over the years, I know that George Ducharme has been involved. I know the Legion has been involved. And then what happened in the past year?
George kind of stepped out of it, so I took over as chairman for the village. I guess there was nobody to run it, so I volunteered, to run it for the rec center. If there's any profit made, it's supposed to go back to the rec center into the revenue fund for the rec center.
Okay. It's never been a profit motive in the
No, no.
Rouses Point. Now, St. Mary's, St. Anne's, and I got to think of an Altona, Holy Angels, they do it for a profit, and we make a profit. But in Rouses Point, it's never been. You try to break even, and you provide a lot of entertainment.
Well, I think at one time when the fire department was running it, and they ran it up until, I think, 1990. I think
Right.
there was always a profit made, the fire department,
Okay.
they used that money to buy some of their trucks. And
Okay.
so
Because a lot of the things that are happening are run by different organizations for their own benefit. And it's not, everything here isn't run by the people who run the celebration.
Basically, it is, people are running, we're getting a percentage
You
of
get a percentage?
of anything that comes in on the grounds here.
Okay.
Anything, food booths. The food booths, we set a certain price. Game booths and stuff like that, or game booths, we're gonna get 20%
Okay.
of the profit of what they make.
So when you wanted to volunteer, or you decided to volunteer, how did you get this young man on your lap? How do you do that?
Well, I had to work on them a little bit.
Did he owe you a favor or something? Did
Well,
Brian?
I was surprised that Brian did take it, and I'm very appreciative of the fact, because he's helped us out tremendously in this deal.
Yeah, I stepped forward when I didn't realize how much work
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, we have a good committee this year, and, we're doing it to promote business in the North Country.
Right.
If businesses do good, everybody does good.
Oh, they do well.
You know, and if the kids do good, everybody's happy that way. So we're really doing it for the children.
Okay.
Yep.
We have a program that will be out in the stores and various places.
Various stores, it has, we haven't got them all out
Yep.
yet, but a lot of them are out.
Right. Pick up this, and as you go through, you're not supposed to go through and see who didn't become an advertiser. Think of those who did, and read through it and read what they've got to say. These are the people, really, who help to finance
Exactly.
your week, right? By subscribing and ads in here. There's a full day, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, with all the events, and we're going to go through those. So these are available. They're free out there, and study those and find out. And
this is important, too.
all events are free and open to the public. Now, the food you have to pay for.
Yeah.
Just like at home, we have to pay for our food,
Yep.
one way or the other, right?
Nothing's for free.
That's for free. All right. Tell us, I guess, the first thing here,
We start out, we're going to open up on Thursday,
Okay.
July 3rd, at 1 o'clock. The carnival will open, the flea market, food concessions, that'll all open at 1 o'clock.
okay, flea market will be where? Will that be right here on the...
No, flea market's going to be down on the grounds, in the back here, like where the
Oh,
playground is.
Okay, over inside, yep.
Carnival's going to be on the tarmac.
Okay,
There'll be a couple food concessions in the front here.
okay,
Let's see, that's about, in the fire department, we're gonna have our beer tent and sausage booth. That opens at 6 o'clock on Thursday. That'll be at the fire station.
okay,
We have 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon. We have All Bank, which is sponsoring a child watch, where you'll be able to come and get fingerprinted, photo ID for your children and stuff, so they'll have, and that's free and too.
All right, they did that in, at St. Mary's in Champlain, and it was very successful, I think, and we thank the bank, All Bank, for doing that. Tom Marlowe and his crew will be doing that. All right, 6 o'clock, the beer and sausage booth open at the fire station, you said?
Yeah.
Professor Marvel, Old Times Magical Medicine Show at the Civic Center. Is that inside?
That's inside, starting at 7 to 8:30.
And that's free?
That's free too, for the kids.
Okay.
And he puts on an hour and a half show.
And you have to pay him?
We have to pay him.
Right? So even though they're not trying to recoup their money by a quarter admission or anything, it's free. And then 7 to 9 at the Civic Center gazebo.
Which is outside,
Okay.
back here, with Whitney Keys and the Colebrook Ramblers are playing. It's a
Okay.
band.
And so that if you want to leave your young people here and go over there, as an adult you can, or you can stay and watch the magician show. They're both at the same time and end the same time.
Yeah.
It says here
7 to 9. I think the Professor Marvel will be over about 8:30 or
Okay.
so, because it's an hour, and I think it's an hour and 15-minute show with a 15-minute intermission.
Okay. This ever happened before? Have you ever had him before?
We haven't. I've heard he was in Rouses Point a few years ago. They had it at the elementary school.
Okay.
He's also known as Discabibbo, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yes,
That's good,
yeah,
Cabela.
exactly. He's in a grade too, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You see who attends the magician shows and knows all these things right over there. See?
Yeah.
Calvin Castine. Friday, July the 4th itself now, which is a holiday throughout, and it's on a work day, so it's a holiday. 1 o'clock p.m. till closing, the flea market, food concession, and carnival over again. Whose carnival do you have this year?
It's the same one that was, they had last year. It's out of New Hampshire. I'd have to,
Okay.
I don't know the exact name.
All
of
right.
it, but it's a very well-run carnival.
3 p.m. till closing, the fire station, beer and sausage.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. 7 o'clock. Well, who in the world is St. Patrick's Choir? What do they do?
Led by
Brian.
Ruth Letourneau.
Ruth
Yeah,
Letourneau.
it's been-
How many years has she
Oh
been
my
doing
God,
this?
Probably
huh?
25 or 30.
And this is the first year she won't have to step on boards
Exactly.
to get out there to the minute and have the platform. They've got the cement floor right there, the new floor, and 7:30 the Straw Hatters Band concert at the Civic Center. So the St. Patrick's Choir half an hour or so.
That's what, if it varies a little bit, but that's
Okay.
what. Yeah.
Okay, and the Straw Hatters follow up with a concert, probably an hour or so, are
now,
they?
I guess so. Now,
Okay.
and a half.
And again, that's free, and that's the first 2 days. And usually after 2 days, I get tired. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Okay, you're watching Hometown Cable. And don't forget, if you start looking for Hometown Cable in about a month, it may, and most likely, just matter of fact, officially, will not be on Channel 21. It will be Channel 24. And it's no longer called Access, at least in the book I just got. It says Hometown Cable is Channel 24. So that'll be changing, I think, July 16th, officially. But we're going to take a break right now. This is, as we mentioned, is a big event, and many little things can be forgotten, and we're not trying to shortchange anybody. Go back to Thursday and Friday again. There was one name I think we mentioned off camera that has not been mentioned. A couple things you wanted to mention, Brian?
The fire department, first of all, for their contribution to doing the chicken barbecue and the beer tent to raise more money for the 4th of July celebration. But the Legion did a lot too. Debbie Cole, in association with the Legion, ran the raffle for us this year, helped us with our ads, and now we're going to have it on the radio also. We're going on FM station.
Okay.
Country and Western will be broadcasting during the 3 hours of Sunday of the parade.
Say that, what do you mean? It'll be,
Radio station will be down here on location,
yeah,
broadcasting for 3 hours.
they will.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we've sold ads, and it's not going to cost anything.
Okay, now what station is this? Is this
The FM station,
in St. Albans?
yes.
St.
I think
Albans?
it's 103.
WOKO?
No, it's not that one, is it?
I think it is.
Is
yeah.
it?
And it's not one that I listen to,
Is
because
that
it's
WOKO? I think that,
103, I believe it
oh,
is. But
okay,
it's Country and
103?
Western.
Okay,
They're going to be coming down and broadcasting. We have to vote on it, but so far, we haven't, everybody's in agreement that
Okay.
it's not going to cost anything. It's
Okay.
good exposure.
all right, now someone mentioned also a name, Louis Landry.
Yeah, Louis, we want to thank him because he took over as far as the raffle and,
Uh-huh.
took care of that for us. So, because the village couldn't run the raffle, so we needed an organization, and thank God Louis stepped forward for the Legion and took care of that for us.
When you say that the village can't run a raffle, it sounds because you've got a village involved. There's a lot more restrictions than when it's a private organization, huh?
That's correct.
And that's,
Yeah.
the village can't have a raffle. That's one of the things that come up. All right, Saturday. Now, these are the days that most people don't work, so there are going to be more people available. Saturday, July the 5th.
We have the 14th Annual Freedom Run. Brian Norton, we want to thank Brian for organizing that too, so that took another thing out of the committee that we didn't have to handle. Starting point starts at the Rouses Point Elementary School on Maple Street, and that starts at 9:30, and they give trophies for 3 in the women's division and 3 in the men's division.
Okay.
I don't know what the ages are, how it's
All right.
broken
How do you
down.
sign up for this? Can you sign up that morning?
Yeah.
You
You
can?
can sign
Okay.
up that morning, I think, or get a hold of Brian Norton. I don't have his phone number with me, but he lives in Rouses Point.
Okay.
And I think it's in the book.
And if you show up or before 9 o'clock, you can run also.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome.
Okay. Wear your shorts.
Yeah.
It's going to be just cooler today. We're here on Tuesday, the 17th. Okay. 1 p.m. until closing. Flea market, food concessions, carnival.
Open.
Every day, all 4 days, you're going to have that. That's right here on the grounds at the Civic Center. 3 o'clock till closing. The fire station. You can have some more beer and sausage.
Yeah. 6:30 to 8. We have the North Country Square dancers under the gazebo outside. And if it does rain, we're going to bring them inside.
Okay.
That's why we kind of staggered our times that night.
Now, you can do that now. You can
Yeah.
do that because you've got the floor now.
Exactly. And at dusk, the 7th annual Boat Parade Lights and Music, run by Rico Corona and Dennis Richards, which we also want to thank them for doing that. There's a lot of work involved in that too.
Now that will be where? That will start?
I think they started out by Angler's Pier at the end where you come through the dry. I think the boats
Okay.
line up, they come
Right.
through, and the judging is done at Gaines Marina.
Okay, so they go right by, parallel to Lake Street, by the church and there. They go down, somewhere down
Towards the anchorage.
log
there.
cabin area.
Yeah, and
They
make-
turn around and come back
make a
again. You
loop
can
in
get
front
them
of
both ways. Dusk is about, must be awfully close to 9 o'clock,
9 o'clock
right?
at that time of year.
Right.
See, last year they held it before the parade, and it made fireworks
okay.
back up. Fireworks didn't start till 11 o'clock.
Okay, so
last
that's
year.
gonna be, now, you usually have the parade recently, it's on Saturday.
Yeah, the last 5-6 years it's been on
Okay.
Saturday. We've moved that back to Sunday night like it always was for many, many years on Sunday night.
Okay,
And,
Plus to get the extra day of revenue also. We said if we run it for one extra day with the carnival and the booths, it should be a little bit more business.
and we,
so if it's on Saturday, you don't have an awful lot on Sunday then?
no, there's
But
not,
this way-
usually this will make the whole weekend. And we've also changed the parade route. The last 5-6 years, it started at the elementary school and ended at the elementary.
Okay.
And we've gone back to starting it at the fire station and ending it at the fire station like in years past.
Okay, so
That
that,
puts all your people on the grounds down here.
all right, parade route then, you bring it up, it's a parade we're gonna talk about later, but while we got it, you're gonna go
You're gonna start,
south on Lake Street from the fire station,
gonna turn, up on Pratt Street,
right?
down, or turn on Maple, go the whole length of Maple, down Champlain Street to Racine's Corner, the Saxony Corner.
Right.
Then all the way back along Lake Street with the reviewing stand at the library.
Okay, that's the same, all right. 8:30 to 11 p.m., teen dance featuring a band.
A
I
band.
understand that band is not available?
No, we had that band booked, and one of the lead singer's personal things have come up where he's gonna be out of
Okay.
town, so we're gonna have a band or a DJ in that
Okay.
place that night. So
The weather got rid of Toadstool. The
Yeah.
Toadstool riveled up.
Yeah.
All right, so there will be a band here, music here for the teen dance, 8:30 to 11.
And that's free too.
Yeah.
That's free also.
Yep.
Now, when you say a teen dance, are you restricted to?
No, it's just, anybody can come. It's
Okay.
open to the public, but I mean, we were just in lines of teenagers or young
Okay.
people.
Yep.
But it's open,
So
to
the
anybody.
music could be loud?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit.
Reverberate, yes, around here? All right. So this will bring people in for the teen dance, the North Country Squares, and then your boat parade will bring people here on Saturday, and they'll be back on Sunday
Sunday.
because of the regular parade.
Yeah.
All right. Sunday, July the 6th, the big barbecue at noon at the fire station. You already mentioned that. And the fire department takes care of all that.
Yeah, fire department's running a sausage booth, chicken barbecue, and the beer tent.
Okay. Then 1 p.m. till closing, you're saying flea market, food concession, and carnival on these grounds. And from 2 to 5, step ahead line dancers at the Civic Center gazebo.
Yeah. So
Right
they
outside
performed
here.
before here and stuff.
All right.
And so they put on a good, and they're also going to be in the parade too, but they put on a good performance.
Right. Now, your gazebo, there's no seats around. Should you bring your own
Yeah,
chair?
bring your lawn chair or a blanket or something to sit on and
Okay,
stuff.
so for any of those events around the gazebo, bring a lawn chair or bring something you can sit on the grass, and you can. And at 7 o'clock, as always, the street parade, a big parade,
The best parade ever.
best parade
We're
ever.
advertising it all over. It's the best parade ever.
We're up
Hoping-
around 80 units right now.
All right.
We invited our grand marshal, but we haven't got a response. We
You haven't
invited John LeClaire from the Philadelphia Flyers, and he played with the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh yes, he's right from St. Albans.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's from St. Albans, but during the summer there's a lot of golf tournaments, and they're committed to playing other players' golf tournaments. So we invited him about 6 weeks ago, but we haven't got anything back. Probably he won't be able to make it.
Okay, that's too bad. He's been very good. Last year, Calvin taped John LeClaire at the
Celebrity golf tournament.
over at Isle of Mont at Mass, and then he was there autographing and meeting the people after, and did a great. It was great seeing him on.
Had the Stanley Cup there.
Did he have it last year?
Well, the year he won it
The
with
year
the
he won
Canes.
it, they had it with
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
He has a golf tournament too over there.
And he has a
Okay.
foundation too.
So you have a follow-up for the Grand Marshal if you don't get John?
Well, that was our first and only choice.
Your first and only choice?
Probably Sheriff Trombley will be leading the parade.
No, it's not the,
Or the Legion is going to.
Derby, and the Legion, the marching unit, the Legion marching unit, are gonna be to start the parade. That was-
Okay. We'll go back to the parade. The raffle drawing is after the parade at the reviewing stand, will be the drawings, and fireworks display at dusk from the Rouses Point Sportsman's Pier. For sure?
For sure.
On the Sportsman's Pier?
For sure.
Okay, so anywhere you get along Lake Street, you can see them go up there very well. And again, that'll be after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we have a very, good display this year, too.
You also guarantee some mosquitoes during that, as usual?
Always.
As usual?
Always. That's just-
It scares
that's a
them all
given.
from wherever they are, come right over to looking for
That's a
someone to
given.
land
All
on
the
at
lights.
night, huh?
Celine Paquette also got a $500 donation from the Clinton County legislators in Plattsburgh, and we'd like to thank her also.
And is that earmarked for anything at all?
No, it just goes into our general fund.
Well, isn't that very nice? Celine has been very good, and thank you, Celine.
Well, I shouldn't say they want, it's gonna go towards fireworks.
Okay.
You know, I shouldn't say it, but, you know.
Yeah,
we have
fireworks
a
cost
fund.
money, huh?
Yes, we spent 3,000 on it.
How much?
3,000 on the fireworks.
Well, we're gonna have to come back. We're gonna take a break because, first of all, you talk 3,000 for the fireworks. You're talking maybe close to 5,000 just for the parade, because I know our parade in Champlain costs us vicinity of 4. You know, we try to shoot for 3,500. It's an expensive thing, so enjoy that parade. And when you see either of these two gentlemen or any of those other names you've heard, they're not doing this for any personal gain at all. They're doing it because they think you need to continue this in Rouses Point. It's a lot of work. They put. Imagine even when you're in bed at night, you're thinking, huh?
Getting calls all hours of the
You
night.
do get all hours. So thank these people when you see them, and or drop a note. Nothing better than getting a surprise note saying, "I enjoyed the parade. We enjoyed the whole week, and thank you for your efforts." And thank you for your efforts. And there's a very important message come up. I'd like to have you here. We'll be right back. The big explosion is on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the first week in July. Talk a little bit more about the parade. You said you have 80 plus units,
Yeah, we're right up around 80 right now,
okay?
units in the parade.
And
so
you're still
we're
coming in.
getting
You still got 2 full weeks,
weeks, so.
at
And
least
then
2.5.
And then what I've been told is right up into the day of the parade, you'll have people showing up that day wanting to get in the parade. So it's
Okay.
gonna be very long.
Yep. And who's in charge of the parade? You have someone in charge of the parade? Oh, that's part of you too?
That's part of us, yeah.
Oh, that's a full-time job in itself. I'll tell you, that's tough.
We will need some volunteers if there is anybody out there that would wanna help us the day of the parade and stuff.
Wow, that's tough. Because the biggest thing about parades today are those two-way radios
Yeah.
that you borrowed maybe from the fire department, as we
Oh, they're
do
gonna help us
in
too.
Champlain. They help an awful lot. You can talk a mile or two away exactly what's happening, where the parade is, etc.
So we're gonna have people all along the route.
And they'll be all lining up where?
Starting right here, say in front of the fire station. Delegars has been, we want to thank Delegars too, another one I'd like to thank because they've offered us their parking lot. So we're going to put our bands in the parking lot so they don't have to walk as far. And then we're going to start, it'll end up going down into on the bridge road, probably into Power Techs.
Oh, yeah, you're talking a lot of people. There's a lot of people in a parade like this.
So we didn't want the marchers to have to walk, it's a long parade as it is. So in the Canadian bands, they don't want to walk any more than 1.5 to 2 miles. So we're going to have all our bands come out of Delagar's parking lot, joining in the parade from there. So there'll be less walking for them. But the parade will probably be 1.5 miles long. Or,
Yeah, now, the only disadvantage, if I may, of having a parade start on the north end is that you end at the north end, and then you got to get in your car, and you got to wait till the rest of the parade gets here, has arrived, before you can go home, and everybody's going to be going home south, you know, anybody who's in the parade. So you're going to be, if you're the first 10 cars, or first 10, you got to wait that whole other mile of parade. Then you got to fight all the traffic to get
Traffic
through.
going out.
This is a real place
They stay and go to the,
That's what we want them to
Oh.
stay, yeah.
What was that, Calvin?
they stay and go to the carnival and buy a hot dog.
That's what you planned.
That's exactly why we started it down here, to have more people on the ground spending money.
Did you know that, Brian?
Yep.
You
was
knew
a
that
master
too.
plan.
Master plan in
Yep,
that.
yep.
Okay.
We do have an emergency route too.
You do? Yeah, for fire and things,
For
right?
emergency vehicles coming across the bridge. We're gonna run them right up from the bridge road and bring them right up State Street, Montgomery Street to State, then run them right out of the village if we have to run ambulances in or out.
Okay,
So,
all right.
which is
So that
something-
makes you feel better if you think there's an emergency comes up. That has been planned, and something I just didn't think of at the time. You'd really have to do that. Absolutely.
And this year too, we've also spent more money on, it might sound funny, on porta potties throughout the village, so there'll be porta potties on the parade route for people that do need to use the facilities.
Okay.
With 10,000 people in the village, a
Yeah.
lot of people need places to go.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there will be some around the parade route this year.
Many times we don't think of those things, but it's absolutely imperative. Otherwise, the businessman gets pestered all the time, you know, and for their
And they're busy enough as
they're
it is.
busy enough as is. All right. Anything more about the parade we should know? How many bands?
We're upward probably 8 or 9 bands.
Uh-huh.
And floats, probably 10 to 15 floats now. And we have let the fire department back in the last 4 or 5 years. There's been no fire departments. This year we do have some.
Horses? You have horses in your parade
We've
too?
got 8 so far.
8 horses in the. All right. Now, who's going to be your announcer in front of the?
Our master of ceremonies is John and Peg Huckrow.
Okay. Yeah, in front
Our
of the library.
judges are Bill and Mary Lou Burnell, Glenn and Mary Lattimore, and Harry and Melissa McManus.
Okay. And they'll all be right in front of the library too.
And hopefully we have hometown cable filming it.
Who do you have to see for
I
that?
think it's Calvin.
Calvin.
I'm sure.
Calvin is pretty good. By the way, now that you brought that up, this would be. Is this going to be the 4th or the 5th, huh? That you've done since the 25th of May, Calvin?
Oh, I don't know, I don't.
For hometown cable. I think there's the 3 churches plus Shazy, and this would be the 5th at this point. And
early,
and they're always on Sunday, you know, and that takes the rest of Calvin's weekend. All right. Anyone special in the parade that we should know about? If for instance, if John LeClaire don't come, do you have any? Do you know who the bands are going to be? Do you know?
There's 6 Canadian bands.
Okay.
You know, I
6 Canadian.
The Cavaliers I don't have all the
Okay.
names in front of me.
The big difference is that, and St. Mary's got into it now. There's now a broker out of Montreal, and with the broker, you hire him, and he provides the bands. And if one, as you was explaining to me, if one has troubles and can't come, he gets the other one. He's got other waiting in line.
Yes, he just did that to us.
Okay.
He replaced 2 for 2 other
Right.
ones. We
If you had to
St.
do that
John's Am-
yourself, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough to find somebody at the last minute.
Yeah.
So he has this set up.
The
on that.
parade broker
Okay.
that you work right through. He
Right.
can bring not just bands in, he can
Yeah.
bring anything in.
Right.
This guy, you know, he had flamethrowers, and if you had a lot of money to spend, you could put on a heck of
Peter
a
Pan
parade.
Productions, I think it's called,
That's
right?
what- that's what it is,
By the
yeah.
name of Phillips. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything, Brian, you can think of we did not mention relative to the parade?
We're still looking for more entries for
Oh,
the
there
parade.
you go, of course.
We always like to have a lot of floats, but floats are a lot of work,
Mhm.
and it takes up time, and it takes up money. So we're looking for more floats. If you're interested, any local businesses would like to put something in, they're welcome.
They don't have to be elaborate. It's just a good idea. The back of a pickup, you know, they're very good for your business. Get your businesses out. If you're a business, the grades, the schools do very well. Mrs. Yell does very, very well each year. I imagine she'll be in again.
Yeah.
She was in the St. Mary's.
It's all free, too. That's
All free to get
that's
in.
part of it. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks for all the advertisers, too. We had a bigger ad this year than we've ever had, because we had some ads come out of Canada. We had some good local people on the committee and solicited some ads. And
Okay.
we want to make sure we plug all our
Yeah.
sponsors.
Yep. And again, you know, go through this and see the people who have provided the thing for you. Very well done. And this again is a lot of work. Who's in charge of setting this up? Who organizes it?
The paper itself? Well, there was a committee.
Committee is doing that.
Same
yeah.
thing, same committee.
Same committee again.
And,
Okay.
Jim Rochester printed it.
Jim Rochester printed
Paper.
it. Good, a local business. He's got a business name. What's it called?
Board of View Press.
Border View Press.
Border Press.
Yep.
Very few in that. Border Press.
Border Press.
Right there on, it's not Chapman Street, what's the name of it?
Clinton.
Clinton, there you go, right there in the backyard, the Rochester family. All right, anything else, gentlemen, we can think of that we should mention? Anybody we owe? No, what about here? You wanted to mention something about list of names.
Yeah, there is a few people that I would
Okay.
like to thank. Arsen Letourneau, village treasurer, he's helped me out tremendously with all the billing, and the Rouses Point Village Board and the employees for a lot of work they've done for me. And then the judges, John and Peg Hugco for being master of ceremonies, and Bill and Mary Lou Brunel, Glenn and Mary Lattimore, and Harry and Melissa McManus for being our judges.
And that's right here on that center page, all the people here, Brian Jeffson, co-chairman. The only name I see missing there is, where does it say Mike O'Brien?
Well, I wrote the...
You wrote it up
I
and
wrote
forgot
the
to put Mike
thank you
O'Brien.
No, I'm in there. I'm a village employee, so I got to thank you in there.
Well, I think you put the names down of those who did the work, right? Brian, that's what he did.
Absolutely,
All the names he put down are the ones that did the work. And there it is. Get your copy and plan that big weekend here. We hope you get the weather that all the
Right.
others have had, so that you have a good
That
weekend.
makes it the whole, you got to rely on the weather.
Yep. Anything else that we could cover?
No, it's a short summer, so come and enjoy the 4th of July
Okay.
festivities.
And they'll be busy from now to then. And remember, anything you can still get in the flea market.
Yeah, we're still looking for flea
Who would
market.
they call? Debbie Cole?
Debbie Cole or myself here at the Civic Center.
Okay, and you can get your instructions, the cost, etc., and what you do and what's expected of you.
The cost is $50 you get for unlimited space
Unlimited space for the 4 days.
for the 4 days.
You can't beat that. Unlimited space. You bring your own tables, bring your own whatever you want to
Yes.
put.
Lead cards will supply the power.
Okay, you provide the power.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we usually get quite a few like Winnebagos and set up right on the grounds here, and they stay the whole time.
Okay. Anything else? No,
No.
gentlemen?
Covered it.
Yeah.
Want to get in a parade, who do they call?
Oh yeah.
They can call myself here at the village, or Brian,
Yep, my
Or-
number's in the book.
or just call the Civic Center or the village office and leave a name, an address, or a number, and I'll get back to
Get
them.
back to them. Okay. And we want as many units as possible. Don't have to have a float. You can come in with an
Anything.
old
Clowns.
car. Clowns, pardon?
Marchers, and
Marching units.
Any,
you'll be in the parade too, Bob?
I'm going to be in the
Dr.
parade.
Southwick?
Huh?
Give Dr. Southwick a plug.
Give Dr. Southwick a plug. He drove us to the St. Mary's Parade with his 1931 Ford Roadster, a beautiful yellow car. It took first place, as far as a matter of fact, for the car. I told him it wasn't because of the car; it was the people who was riding in it.
Yeah.
And he volunteered. He said, if you don't have anybody in Rouses Point, I'd be glad to give you a ride again. And we thank John very much for that. And these old cars people like to see them. Clean up your cars and get in the parade. Anything else? I don't want to leave anything short. Don't forget, it's the weekend. Now, I'm going to take a couple minutes on my own because I was shocked a week ago by this manhole in that camera, and you saw it this past Sunday on the 15th, that the Hometown Cable was awarded a statuette for a national honor called the 1997 Telly Award for the production we did on the flood of '96. I don't get speechless very often, but I was speechless that day. They surprised me because I was told we were going somewhere else. Had I been my normal self, there's several things I would have said, and I'd like to just take a little bit of time to mention that. Number one, I want to thank all the people for those 3 days that Calvin and I were out who took time from cleaning up from the flood. It was only 3 days later, and who took the time to explain to us and tell us the problems they had during the flood. Thanks to supervisors, the road commissioners from the different towns who talked with us, showed us, traveled with us to show us the bridges that were out. Without that, we wouldn't have had a show. And also, of course, the 32 or more people who submitted tapes to Calvin that showed the flood as it was going. And we thank them also very much for making this an award-winning program that's been well received and been shown throughout the United States. People who send it to their friends. And of course, people said that they see me during that time. Remember, what you saw was flood, and I didn't have anything to do with that. Mr. Castine here, Calvin, had that camera and told you the whole story that you could hear from the person talking to me. But Calvin does a lot of work with that camera, and he's also got a statuette that has come in since then, and we're very, very proud of that, and we thank all of you out there for your many fine comments, and people who, I guess Wire covered it a lot on radio, because I was in church in St. Peter's last Saturday, and someone congratulated me for what they heard on the radio. I'd like to thank Hometown Cable and all you people for making this little hobby I have on the side very rewarding. And I guess I'm not really tongue-tied today, but that's about it. And thank you very, very much again for Hometown Cable. You've done this by being an advertiser. There's advertisers here. There's advertisers on Hometown Cable. And as you people who have been patrons, we thank you very much for that. But some of you haven't seen fit yet or didn't remember that there's a new year, and maybe you should become another patron for this year. And those of you who haven't, get on the bandwagon and say, hey, that's a good programs are out there, Calvin and Sam, bringing you everything in the county. Northern tier at least, everything. He's going to have 12, 14 graduations this year, Calvin, on Hometown Cable, and that takes a lot of time and effort. Become a patron, watch your name roll over the screen. And last but not least, the real reason we're here is right there. These two chairman and co-chairman, Mike O'Brien and Brian Jefferson, who are going to bring you the 37th annual 4th of July celebration, July 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, 1997, all the other things, the boat parade, the barbecue, the flea market, the band and choir concerts, food concession, street parades, fireworks, everything. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. We'll see you there because Hometown Cable is going to be there, and I'm going to be in a parade. I'm the king. Thank you very much to the Northern Tier Chamber of Commerce for my wife and I for being chosen the king and queen of the Winter Carnival. And it's been a pleasure seeing all of you again. That's it. We'll see you next Sunday at new and different places. And thanks for your comments about the 1812 homestead. A lot of people are going to be going down and see Chris at the 1812 homestead. Thank you, Calvin, and